Welcome back to another edition of the Gabagools Podcast episode. I believe we're on 74 now, or was it 75?
I thought last week you might have said 73. Let me see if I wrote this down.
I have it written down in my notes as 73. This is really funny that we're doing this, but yeah.
You know what? I actually might be seeing, am I seeing 74 last week? This might be 75.
Well, 75 it is. So welcome to 75 with the Cuzzo Dan.
Huh?
How we feeling?
You know what? We're feeling grand today. We're gonna go with grand. A little nippy. A little as Clark Griswold would say, it's a little nippy out there.
Nipply.
But yeah, a little nipple. But no, you know what? The sun is out. There is not a cloud out there. A little chilly, but you put a little light sweatshirt on. You get out there. Go for a walk. Get outside. Get into nature. Right. Get on your nature side. Whatever. Get out there. It's going to be frigidly cold in another couple weeks. So get out there while you can. Ride a bike. Go get a walk around the block or do something. Get some exercise. Right. Come on. Let's go, America.
Exercise. We like that. How's the time change been hitting you?
Oh, God. I woke up. The woman and I woke up this weekend after we went out for her birthday dinner with some of her friends. We went out Saturday night, and I think we woke up Sunday, and that was the first day of the time change, right? And,
Yeah, yesterday was.
Yeah, we woke up, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, wait a minute, is it? Could it be? And they at work on the whiteboard sometimes they'll write down hey, we have daylight savings times or whatever next week, and you walk past it a few times, you don't realize it, you say, oh yeah, that's coming up, but then you go out, you have a few drinks, you do a little dancing. Dodgers unfortunately lock it down Saturday night, so kind of put a little damper on the mood. Maybe had a little extra, had another one or two tequila pineapples, but pineapple tequila, however you want to start it. But yeah. It's hitting me. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's hitting me.
That's you know what? That's my favorite. I missed that when I was in college when you'd have the time change go back and you'd be at the bar, and then you get that extra hour at the bar.
Yep. Yeah, haven't done that in a while.
No, I couldn't tell you the last time I closed down a bar.
Yeah.
Plenty of years now, at least, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's more of just Lion King 1.5, which we were talking about briefly before the show, and I wanted to make sure we pause that conversation because the look on your face when I told you there was a Lion King 1.5, you were very concerned.
Yeah, I've seen The Lion King. I don't live under a rock. I feel like all the classic hits back in the day on VHS. I don't know if we still have them, but I had them all. And for the life of me, I don't know what happened with 1.5. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it before. You're telling me there's a second Lion King.
Yeah.
How do we go? I'm assuming the second one got made and then 1.5 got made after. Is this? I'm quite confused when it comes. What the hell's happening?
Yeah, let me break it down for you. So Lion King 1.5 came out in 2004, and then Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, came out in 98.
Okay, so 2 came out, and then 1.5 came out a few years later. So
yeah, and this one is the premise of this one is all about Timon and Pumbaa and how Timon came into the picture basically, and how he met Pumbaa, and then how they kind of played a little background role. And long story short, spoilers for people who haven't been around since 2004 to see the movie. Basically, Timon gets kicked out of his own colony of meerkats because he just doesn't fit in. He breaks things. He's not a good meerkat. He wants to live his own life, and he gets sent away to go find it. And then he meets Pumbaa, and then little things in between Lion King 1 go on. So when Scar's doing the "Be Prepared" song, they're looking for a place to stay. They try there, and they're like, "Oh, this is kind of creepy." They walk off, and a couple other nuances, and then they end up going to a jungle where they find the jungle. And then they run into Simba, and they basically show a little bit more background about that whole dynamic about how they raise Simba.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you once I heard that there was in fact a 1.5, 1.5, however you want to say that,
Yeah,
made a few years after the second one. I was gonna ask if Simba himself, the man, the myth, the legend, was in that. Sounds like you
he
just said he
is.
was. So
Yeah, no, he
okay,
is. He's
that's good
definitely
because
in it.
like you can't make a Lion King movie without the Lion King, right? I mean Simba, you can't do that, but
No,
this whole 1.5 thing, I'll be honest with you, I'm still thrown. We could make an entire podcast
we
about
might
just
have to.
me asking you questions about Lion King 1.5. So maybe we'll do that next week. Maybe we'll come out with like a special edition episode
Special.
of like how they do with 60 Minutes sometimes. We'll do like
Yeah.
a special edition. We'll both sit down, dress up, uh, go under the lights, the whole 9 yards.
All for Lion King 1.5.
Yeah. Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, jeez, that's funny. Yeah, no, we could easily do that. We could sit there and just talk about different movies like that. But yeah, Lion King 1.5. The kiddo is watching it. Pretty religiously the last 2 days, which is fine, just because it's not something I've seen in a long time. So
You would think too, a meerkat. You would think it's kind of part of the cat family. Cats are solid. We've got a cat here taking a little nap right now.
got two
Uh,
here.
I didn't think meerkats were packy, right? You got this whole pack kicks them out, whatever the heck
Colonies.
happens.
They
Yeah,
have a
I mean,
colony.
a bunch of ants. I don't know,
Yep,
man.
exactly. Well, as much as we like to talk about Lion King 1.5, let's turn it on and we'll talk about some sports here. Nothing really big happened over the weekend, really, right? I mean, the World Series happened. Obviously, we ended up with Game 7, which was amazing. Probably
Yeah.
the greatest Game 7 in history of the MLB. And it wouldn't be hard to say it just because
Well,
the
I don't know
comeback
about
and the
that.
amount of,
I could think of.
action
I got one right
during
off the
it.
bat that I think could top that.
No, I can't think of anything. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
It's had its ups and downs, and the Dodgers end up going back to back for the first team for the first time since what was it 99 2000 with the Yankees. So
Yeah.
pretty interesting that they also won it on the road in Toronto. They ended up winning that pivotal Game 6, and then Game 7 they pulled it out.
Yeah. I guess first and foremost, we have to give our congratulations, if you will, to the Dodgers. You can say what you want. They were supposed to be there. They were supposed to win, not only get there, but win. Toronto probably wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, I think we mentioned this last week.
Yeah,
I don't think most people had them winning their own division. So, you know, they gave it a hell of a fight. And when you really break it down, um, a couple things really stand out. To me, I think the biggest thing, I mean, obviously Yamamoto, right?
yeah,
That's got to probably be number one. How dominant he was. 5-1, I believe, in the postseason with a 1.45 ERA. That's about as lights out as it gets, pitching to the best of the best. So, he's worth the deal they gave him. He's excellent. I think almost equally as big as that, though, is the the, the offense. Both teams. I mean, I'm looking at the Dodgers lineups for these guys, and this is not World Series. This is collective, the entire postseason. Um, Max Muncy hit 214. I think he had to have been below the Mendoza line, as they say, for all you novices out there. That would be if you're hitting under 200. He had 3 hits in Game 7, right? So he was probably under 200 going into Game 7 of the World Series for the entire postseason. Freddie had 1 hit. He hit 221. Tommy Edman hit 222. Betts hit 229. Otani is a little bit better at 265. We know he had a couple monster games, but you look at that and then just look at Toronto's averages for these guys. And Springer got hurt, but he played in the majority of the games. He hit 284. That Luke's kid, nobody knew his name. He hit 274. That's better than everyone on the Dodgers lineup. How about Vladdy? 397 in the
incredible.
postseason.
He was incredible.
Bo was only in the World Series. He hit 348. Barger, I told this to Maria, and she didn't like hearing this. I got a bit of a man crush on Addison Barger at the moment. Not a sexual thing. This is not a. It's just a. I got to put that out there. I understand that, but he hit 367 in this postseason. Ernie Clement is the only one that hit over 400, 411. I mean, with those averages, you're thinking Toronto should have won. They had a couple real big games. It was a great World Series. I don't know if everybody had it going 7 games. The
No.
Dodgers pitching was really good, but Yamamoto was really by far the best. And I want to say one more thing before I turn it back to you. You got to give Kevin Gausman his love. Gausman pitched his tail off. He pitched great the entire postseason, I believe. Again, I think he was 2-3 with a 2.93. Those are, the 3 losses, for your ace is not ideal. But, a sub-3 ERA in the entire postseason, he was not giving up more than 2 or 3 runs between about 5 or 6 innings. He was he was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. Ernie Clement, I think he had a postseason, he had the most career hits in a postseason, or a postseason high, which is insane to say, because you name off Ohtani, Freeman, all these big name guys, and you end up running into freaking Ernie Clement, which is awesome. Good for him. And you know what's funny too is Addison Barger, whatever we call him. He would be an interesting Cub. He just looks like a guy that would go play shortstop or second base for your 2002 Cubs for whatever reason. I just maybe the '08 Cubs or something, one of those teams that just had Ryan Theriot and Mike Fontenot and remember all those guys?
Oh yeah, the Riot.
Yeah, I always had to laugh at that because everyone had that jersey, and it was I get down with that. You get some no name jerseys, but yeah.
You know what? I love it. We'll take Addison Barger. We'll take him any day of the week. The kid called him up. He was great this year. You got to give your love to Trey Savage. He had a heck of a postseason. Very good in the World Series as well. A lot of good things to take away from Toronto. The only unfortunate part is sometimes you get right there. You're knocking on the door of, hanging up that World Series banner. Now you don't get there. And now what happens next year? All these teams, every team's a little different the year after usually. You got a couple free agents over there. The biggest one is obviously Bobo. So, Toronto, man, they gave it a hell of a run. They had
talk about a heartbreaker too. Have the game in hand. Bichette, they basically should have had. They should have scored on. He made that blunder, and I don't know if he just wasn't fully healthy enough to make that run or tag up and score on that one play. Or even to get into scoring position, and that kind of hampered him. But he came out in the third, hit that home run, 3-run to kind of put him ahead. Teoscar did his thing. Jimenez, put him up 4-2, and then they, slowly but surely, it was just a slow, painful death. Unfortunately for the Blue Jays, with Muncy hitting that home run, and I kind of felt it too. I'm like, oh shit, it's happening here. The Dodgers are making their run. And I'm like, oh no. I was fine with it because I had that future bet from last year. And I placed it on the Dodgers to win this year, and I won $50, nothing crazy, but still. And then of all people, Rojas too. How about him coming out and just hitting a home run? That's his postseason moment. That's what people are going to remember. In history now is hitting that critical top of the ninth home run to tie the game, and then Will Smith walking it off. Well, not walking it off, but the go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th or 11th. So, did you see that fun stat that the last 6 World Series there's been a Will Smith in there?
Well, you know what? I know that was going for 3 or 4 years. I didn't realize we were still going with that, but it makes sense because the Dodgers have won back-to-back. And then you have the pitcher Will Smith, who was in 2 or 3 in a row or something like that, or 3 or 4, I forget. But
3 of them, yeah.
He was on different teams, right?
Yeah, he was on a different team each year. It was he was with the Dodgers, and I think keep me honest on this one. And people at home, I think it was Will Smith was on the Dodgers in 2020, and then he ended up winning one in 2021 with the Braves. 2022, who won in 22? Was it the Astros?
I'm so bad at previous winners. That's my one bugaboo. I know when the Cubs won. That's really all that matters. But yeah, it might have been Houston.
Well, I know he was with Texas. I know he was with Texas. So 6 straight years. So I think I actually did it wrong. So I think it was 2021. I don't think he was ever with the Dodgers prior to that. But it was a pitcher, Will Smith. He was at
Yeah,
the Braves. Yep, I got it up now. So he was with the Braves. He closed out Game 4, and then in 2022, he had to have been with Houston because they won. And then I know he was with Texas when they won in 23. So yeah, he was with the Astros. That's insane. And then obviously you have the Will Smith from the Dodgers, who he came on hot. Like honestly, outside of Vladdy, and I know his numbers don't really reflect it, but he had a couple of hits here and there throughout that entire World Series. And coming off being hurt too, I think he came back for the postseason. But yeah, he was insane. It is what it is. I mean, we kind of all knew the Dodgers were going to be that evil empire and kind of take that reign and do it. And, unfortunately they did. So all we can do is wait until the offseason and see what that brings us and see if the Dodgers continue that deferred money. But hats off to Yamamoto. That guy is an absolute machine. And just, you could tell he just loves baseball. Sitting in the dugout, he was doing his little warm up pitches like the entire time. Pitched 98 pitches in Game 6, I think they said. And then you would think, hey, he's not available. Nope,
yeah.
nope, nope. Went out, got a huge critical out, and I think the eighth inning with 2 men on with 1 out. I mean, he was nails. He deserved the MVP for sure.
And you know what? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that. And he had multiple complete games this
Yeah,
postseason, and then like you said, he had 6 innings, Game 6 through 90 something pitches. He recorded more outs than any pitcher on that Dodgers staff in Game 7. So he was out there doing some, reminiscent of the Madison Bumgarner days a few years back with the Giants,
yeah.
where he was just going out there and slinging the rock and doing his thing, and he just wasn't giving up anything. And then he comes out of relief to win them. And yeah, Yoshi is. You know what? When he came over, this was his second year, right? Yeah. He came over. There was a lot of hype around him, a lot of talk. Um, you all you need to do as someone who knows baseball is you see somebody and you'd be like, all right, he's got good stuff. This kid's good. We all know he's good. And then when you do it on the biggest stage, it starts to show people, your eyes start to open a little bit more. So yeah, he was great. And yeah, I mean, let's hope they don't three-peat next year. And you got to take a break.
The World Series. Let's see some Oreos.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulty there, but I got up for a minute, was raiding the pantry, was thinking of opening up these Tapatio Doritos. Now,
Ooh, that
those are
sounds good.
actually, they're really good. Yeah. I think they're a newer thing. Maria saw them, I think, at the grocery store, if I'm not mistaken. One of us saw them. I'll give her the credit. We'll just Maria, you get this one. But those are good. Those are some of those though where you eat like two of them and your hands are already like So you got to be careful with that. These, however, these are some loaded Oreos, my
They
friend.
look loaded. That
Okay.
looks like a thick thing of cream.
Oh, it's creamy. That's for sure. It is got a little double stuff action going right there. Little Oreo kind of, what the hell is it? With real Oreo cookie crumbles. So there's cookie crumbles in the cream. Had one of these yesterday, almost died.
It looks delicious. I love I love a good Oreo. Ellie and I were actually just talking about Oreos yesterday, I think.
They're perfect.
Uh, I was telling her about how I like the red velvet ones.
Mm-hmm.
Had a red velvet one; those are good.
Mm-hmm.
The reverse ones are good, but yeah, can never go wrong with the double stuff.
Now, a few years back, they came out with some limited edition ones. I think it was a Rice Krispie treat Oreo. I don't know if you remember those, but it was the yellow cookie, the white, the golden, right? And then it had, I think it was kind of like a double stuff sort of on the inside, but it had these like, I don't know if it was like a crystallized sugar or like a Rice Krispie kind of crinkly pop sort of thing in the cream. Jeffrey, when I tell you that these Oreos are something that I dream about, at night sometimes, and I'm just tossing and turning, just sleepless. I wake up in just a full sweat because the Oreos are not here. I was like, if I could, I understand why people become. I know this is going to take a dark turn, so if people want to mute
Use
this
your
for a
words
second, that's
wisely.
fine.
Use your words wisely, so I don't have to edit too much on it.
Okay, well, all I was going to say is you take these Oreos, you crush them up, you do a little, that's all I'm saying. But they're that good.
I was thinking you could crush them up and put them in your milk.
Yeah, well, that's the PG version, I guess, but they're that good. Yeah, yeah.
So are you a milk guy by chance? I don't know if we've ever talked about milk, but
I'm a
I have a
milk
whole big
guy.
stand, but I'll let you go for it.
I'm a milk guy, but I'll say this, and Maria's already shaking her head because she knows that I do not drink a lot of milk anymore.
No.
Growing up, huge cereal guy. I would
Yeah.
go bunch of milk, and then I've got enough milk in there where I can pour a second bowl, and then the milk's already flavorful, and then you do the second, and it's like really freaking good, right? So,
Yeah.
used to love that. Problem is you get a little bit older, and the milk sometimes doesn't always agree with you, and you have a little too much milk. We know what happens. So Maria has sort of tried to turn me on to this. What is it, Fairlife? That I believe she likes to go for. And I've just recently, very recently, in the last week or two, have been starting to kind of get back into cereal. We got some Fruity Pebbles. I made some, I'm going to quote my buddy Brad here, made some dank Fruity Pebble Rice Krispie treats. Even Maria, she'll tell you, she'd be like, these things were like otherworldly good. And then we were just at Jewel the other night, and I decided I saw the Cocoa Pebbles there. I just saw them, and I said, you know what? This is calling my name right now. So I've got those in the house right now. I might have a late night bowl of cereal tonight with a little Rockford Files to close out the nights for all you late 70s people with your TV.
Yeah, I love a good bowl of cereal. I got nothing on your Rockford Files in late 70s.
What were you going to say about milk? What do you got on the milk? Are you
I'm not a milk drinker.
You don't like that we're the only mammals that drink another one's milk or whatever?
Yeah, we're not baby calves anymore is the best way to put it. I think it's okay if you're like a toddler and you're still growing, but when you see like a grown ass man sitting there drinking a glass of milk, I know someone once said that all they drink is like milk and Monster. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're kind of he was already a piece of shit to begin with.
I was gonna say, now are these separate or does he mix them?
This is not a friend. This is someone that happened to like paths crossed. That's all we're saying. Not even an acquaintance. Like unfortunate paths are crossing, and overheard that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get it. So like not ever since then. I've never been a big milk drinker. I think like chocolate's okay. But I will not just sit there and drink some nice 2% milk. Nope. Give me some almond milk though. If I have to do anything, put a little almond milk in my smoothie.
There you go.
Or like with my cereal, I'll do that as well with cereal. But like, yeah, no, not a milk guy. I think after a certain age, I think it's like grow up, Peter Pan. Stop drinking milk. It's not going to help you anymore. I mean, it almost makes me think if you're still drinking that. Do you remember in Meet the Parents 2? When Robert De Niro has the fake boob on him.
Oh yeah, he's got the yeah.
You might as well go do that. Go drink some milk out of a fake teat on Robert De Niro.
Now, I gotta be honest with you, I don't think we've had a hot take on this pod for quite some time now. But I'm gonna go ahead and put milk drinker down, and I'm gonna put not just milk drinker, but should we say average age? Should we say above?
I feel like anything over 15. I'm being loose. I'm being loose on that. Like, okay, so let me be honest. If you're having it in cereal's okay. It's just a glass of milk. If you're sitting there slugging down a gallon of milk, like
yeah. I mean, you can't go out to a restaurant and order a glass of milk either. If you do that, you're probably a psychopath.
Yeah. 100%.
Or like an axe murderer. I
got nothing else on that part. You just you nailed it on the head. Fucking psychopath behavior by drinking a fucking glass of milk. Like I can just picture it. Like especially like, oh, I'm drinking milk with Dad. Like you got your kids with drinking glasses of milk together. Like, what are you,
Yeah, I don't
Santa
know
Claus?
if I ever had a father-son moment when we were drinking a glass of milk. I will say, if there are people out there, I'm sorry we're making fun of you right now, but there's
You
probably a
know,
reason we're doing this.
yeah, and you're probably sitting there like, yeah, probably not okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, this is definitely getting clipped for the TikTok because that was funny. But my goodness, yeah, not a fan of milk. Um, holy shit, yeah. It threw me for a loop, honestly. Like I said, it's fine in cereal, but if you're sitting there, like there would be people drinking a glass of milk with their cereal.
Now, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I mean, those
That
kids. Like,
is,
imagine they're plumbing. They're plumbing like, good lord. I mean, those are the people you go to the freaking public bathroom and you hear them tearing it up. That they probably had too much milk that morning.
yeah, that's somebody who probably just brings a block of cheese to work and just starts eating it.
I'd rather do that. You'd hope it would plug you up.
I don't know if that'll plug you up.
Probably not. Probably not how the dynamic works. Good
Too
lord.
much dairy.
Too much dairy. So dairy's out on the podcast, at least for me. Yeah,
Big
almond
ice
milk.
cream guy, though. That's the thing. I
I
mean,
like ice
ice
cream
cream.
too.
Oh,
Ice cream's okay,
oh,
but once again, that's a different category. I'm talking about just like the
yeah.
glass of milk psychopath drinkers that are over the age of 15.
No glasses of milk. If you're drinking a glass of milk, your age at least 15. I'm going to push that age a little bit further for me, but we'll keep it between about 15 and 20 because just for me, I'm thinking 15 high school years. I'm still eating a bunch of cereal in my high school years. Just
So
after
same
high
here.
school, I think I slowed down a little bit, and then nowadays I'm almost never eating cereal. But I'm getting back in because I
Cereal is also
deserve it.
expensive. It's
I've earned it.
expensive.
It is very expensive, and some of those boxes are getting smaller somehow, and they're supposed to be better for you. So when we were eating cereal 20 something years ago, and it was great because it was loaded with sugar and high fructose corn syrup, now they're taking all that out of it, trying to make it healthier. Cookie Crisp
I think
does
it was
not taste the
reversed.
same as it used to be.
I think it's
You think it's
reversed.
reversed?
I think it's reversed. I think what they did is they got too big with it, put so much. I mean, I think there was red dye 40 in it back then too, but yeah, now
Maybe.
they're removing all the red dye. But I mean, go to like Aldi, go to Aldi, and you can get like the knockoff ones, which always make me laugh because it's like something out of like Family Guy, like the names of the cereal, because like they can't obviously use
Yeah.
the same name, so it just makes
Yeah.
me laugh a
Honey
little bit.
O's.
Yes. No, they're good though. I do like the cereal from Aldi, but I think we need to talk some
That's
football
another
before.
hot take. That's two hot takes in about 2 minutes.
What's that hot take?
Aldi cereal. Never had. I like Aldi. I've never had
Yeah,
any cereal from them, so I'm gonna have to try some Aldi cereal now.
yeah. The cinnamon toast crunch
Hot
one,
take.
pretty good. And then what was the other one I tried the other day? I think it was like Fruit Loops because I wanted to give it like the Fruit Loop one because it has no
Sure.
red dye. So yeah,
No red dye Fruit Loops from Aldi. Check them
yep.
out.
All right, let's jump into the NFL before we run out of time here.
All right, no more milk talk. Let's go ahead and scrap that.
Milk,
Get that.
milk talk.
Get the milk drinkers out of your head. No more of that.
It has thrown me for a loop. I'll be honest.
God, if I see someone over the age of 20 or 30 going out and ordering a glass of milk at the bar or something, I'm gonna wring their neck.
Well, if it's at the bar, I'm very concerned. They're probably drinking. Is it like a White Russian though?
Yes, I think I actually have had. I forget what's in that, but it is some sort of white drink. It might have a frothy. What is it there? Like vodka or something in there?
So I know that for like Christmas we did like a holiday one before. It's
Hmm.
like Bailey's and Kahlua in a glass of milk. I've tried it.
Bailey's and Kahlua. That's interesting.
Mhm. I like it with eggnog too.
You got to spice the eggnog up. I don't know if I've ever had a spiked eggnog. I've wanted to. Shout out to mom. Never wants to do it. So thanks for that. We're trying to get a little buzz on for Christmas, but you know, to each their own. You know, but maybe we'll do that
Like you
this
can't,
year.
like you can't have anything else to drink. I'm sure that there's
Oh, there's
plenty of
something
other.
else. Oh, there's something else. But you know, it's like it is the season, right? Give me some nog. I'll hit some hard nog, right?
You know, I did take a stance on this before because like it's been offered to have like an eggnog with alcohol in it, and I don't want to ruin the integrity of the nog, to be honest with you. I like to have
Really?
just a nice, great nog because here's the thing, and granted, I'm not going to drink too much of it like I would in the past when I was younger, but I don't want to ruin the eggnog and like for whatever reason I indulge too much in it or I just get sick whatever and I'm throwing up eggnog. It would ruin eggnog for me.
Now I have one question for you before I jump in to our
Yeah.
fastest 2 minutes. When you're
Yes.
talking about nog, there's a few different types of eggnog, right? Sometimes you pour it, it's a little bit runnier. Sometimes you pour it, it's a little thicker. I'm not sure if you've noticed this. Do you have a
I
preference?
I mean
You
I've
haven't
always
noticed?
noticed it's I mean I don't have a preference, but I mean usually it's thicker when I drink it. I don't know. That's a good question
Viscous.
now that I'm thinking about it.
Viscous nog. Okay, good. Some thick nog. All right, that's good. I like the thick nog too.
All right, as we start off every NFL week, when do we start it off, Dan?
I
On
believe it's I believe it's Thursday. Thursday night.
Thursday.
That is the first game. We start with Baltimore and Miami. Ravens welcome back Lamar with arms wide open. Baltimore 28, Miami 6. Indy? No, that's Mac Jones. 49ers take control in second quarter and don't look back. San Fran 34, G-Men 24. Titans lose by a score without an offensive touchdown. Chargers 27, Tennessee 20. Vikings defense shuts down the Lions run game to get back to 500. Minnesota 27, Detroit 24. Falcons fall short even with hat trick from London. Patriots 24, Atlanta 23. A whopping 6 turnovers gives Indy first loss in last 5 games. Pittsburgh 27, Indy 20. 16 total punts and a game-winning field goal, barely enough for Broncos' 7th win. Denver 18, Houston 15. How about this game for you? Bears clash and grapple with Bengals in Sunday's dogfight shootout and win the war. Bears 47, Bengals 42. Rico's big day powers Panthers past Packers for 5th win. Panthers 16, Green Bay 13.
13.
Saints lucky to have won a game, but not yesterday. Rams 34, New Orleans 10. Monster game from Bowers, still not enough. Jacksonville 30, Raiders 29. Could this be the year for the Bills? Buffalo 28, Kansas City 21. How about Sweet Sam cruises to 6th win on 4 touchdowns? Seattle 38, Washington 14. And of course, tonight we have the Monday night game, Arizona at Dallas, 7:15 p.m.
Be there or be square, unless you have YouTube TV, which we'll end the show on our YouTube TV talk. I have some notes on that. But as we like to say, let's start off with the Thursday night. Welcome back, Lamar Jackson. Granted, it is the Dolphins. You should win by as many as they did, but welcome freaking back. 4 touchdown passes, basically put the team on his back, put the Superman cape on, and proved why he is an MVP candidate. Welcome back. Tua looked terrible. Devon Achane, he's on a CMC when he was with Carolina type trajectory for, in my opinion, for fantasy football. I think no matter what you do, he's going to put up 6 receptions at least, and then maybe 67 yards rushing like you got. Derrick Henry added 119 on the ground. I think anytime that you have Lamar back, obviously Derrick Henry, you can't just lock in on him.
Right.
The receiving core. Mark Andrews has had the 2 tutters. Welcome back to him too, but he only had 2 receptions, so it wasn't crazy fantasy day. But yeah, defense looked decent for the Ravens. Like I said, Dolphins are just a really piss poor team.
Yeah, Miami's probably a bottom five, bottom six team or so in the league this year. Baltimore um, won last week against the Bears because that's what the Bears tend to do every now and then, or more than that. But yeah, this was an easy win, right? Lamar comes back, like you said, at 4 touchdowns from him. Shows you why he's won an MVP or multiple MVPs. And, when he's back, like you said, you can't just try to shut down the run game. That opens up King Henry for another 100-yard, whatever, something game. So Lamar's back. One thing on that, what's their record now?
So the Ravens are 3-5. Basically Bills and Patriots, they're going to get two teams in for sure.
Yeah.
The other eyeball emoji one, obviously, I don't have faith in Jacksonville. Really, I mean, the Colts kind of have that locked up unless they go on a Colts streak here. But the AFC West, obviously, with the Broncos being 7-2, Chargers are 6-3, and the Chiefs are 5-4. The wild card is kind of coming out of AFC West, and then you get obviously the Bills and Patriots. So, it's not over and done with. They got Lamar back. I know there's a lot of time. They got a lot of the harder part of the schedule out, which is good.
Okay.
But, it is possible. Like we said, even with the Cincinnati Bengals, too, if Flacco can keep them afloat, which we'll touch on this game right after that, my next point. But, stay alive. And it's kind of what they did. But, transitioning into the Bears, how about that game? How about them Bears? Caleb Williams, 3 touchdown passes, 280. Through the air, scored a receiving touchdown. He actually had 2 receptions for 22 yards. Lots of fun little plays. I got a little nervous. I mean, I'm a Jets fan. Everyone knows that. But I got nervous for Caleb on a couple of those little – I'm like, oh, my God, he's going to get crushed. Obviously the Bears won 47-42, came down to that Colson and Loveland huge touchdown at the end of the game. That was pretty. I'm trying to think of how many yards that was. That was a 50-yard, 58-yarder with like 30 or 17 seconds left. You can't draw it up any better than that. But Flacco also looked good for the Bengals. 4 touchdown passes, had the 2 critical interceptions. One at the end of the game really doesn't matter, but T. Higgins had a game. Jamar Chase, 100 yards, book it. But yeah, T. Higgins, huge game.
Yeah, huge game. I think Jamar, had a pretty good game too.
Yeah.
This was a career day, I think they said, for Flacco. 470 yards through the air, had 4 touchdowns, had a sprained AC joint, I think, in his shoulder. This had to be like, weren't they saying something about Rodgers a couple years ago when he was playing on like Percocet or something? I mean, they had to have juiced up Flacco real nice for that game, and he must have been flying high. And if he's going to be doing that for another couple weeks, Cincinnati's going to be another interesting team. Similar with Baltimore. We thought both of these teams would be there at the end of the year. You just got Lamar back. Burrow, we don't know with him with the turf toe. I think he's still out another month or so. But Flacco's got to win them a couple games.
I know, and then the 2 winnable games, honestly, on the schedule was against the Bears and against the Jets last week. Didn't win that one, so I don't know. I don't think they rush Burrow back if they continue this losing streak. Granted, I don't know what their schedule looks like going forward, but I'd be shocked if Burrow comes back this year at least. But also let's shout out Kyle Mungai.
Yes.
7th round pick out of Rutgers, 176 yards rushing. I think this is what we're going to have to say about the Bears each and every week. You have to run the football. And this is just simple football mechanics here. If you run the ball, you're going to open up the pass game. That's what ended up happening. Couple trick plays, obviously, during the game that helped it out. DJ Moore had that passing touchdown to, like I said, Caleb Williams earlier. When you're able to do it, it works. So that's all I can say, I guess, on the Bears. But yeah, it's good to walk away with the W. Obviously, Detroit had that loss yesterday to the Vikings. So it's getting really interesting for the NFC North. I don't want to get anyone super excited, obviously. But, Packers lost yesterday. They're 5-2-1. Detroit's 5-3. The Bears are 5-3. Obviously, the Bears still need to play the Packers. They still got another one against the Vikings, who are 4-4 now. They just got J.J. McCarthy back, which we could jump into that game next. But yeah, going to be real interesting going forward. We said it before. These are must-win games for the Bears. Next week, you got the Giants, who Jackson Dart watch out for him. He can have these games. They are undermanned, but that's a trap game.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing with the Bears. 89 total points scored in that game. So safe to say there wasn't a lot of defense played in that game. So, and I think I
Yeah.
heard this, the Bears, I think are a top 5 offense with something or whatever in the league. So we're scoring some points. You can't give up 42 points to a Joe Flacco-led Cincinnati Bengals team. No offense to Joe. He hasn't been there all year. He's 40, 41, 42. We mentioned the injury that he played through. He had a hell of a game, but you can't expect to win. I mean, we almost choked that game away, and I was like, oh my God, what the hell is happening? So, hell of a game, though. A lot of fun to watch. I'm glad we pulled it out, too.
Yep, absolutely. Transitioning into the Vikings and Lions, obviously, welcome back, JJ McCarthy. 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing. That was pretty critical at the end of the game, put him ahead. On the flip side, Jared Goff, 2 touchdowns. Montgomery had the 1 rushing, but I mean, overall, it was a very quiet day. I know they put up 24 points, but for the Lions offense, it felt like it was a really quiet day. It seemed like they spread the ball around a lot more. If you look at like the targets, Laporta had 6 receptions, Amon-Ra had 9, and J-Mo had the 4. So they're kind of their big 3. But Jahmyr Gibbs was kind of non-existent that entire game. Caught 3 passes and only had 25 yards rushing. So that's kind of big. Jordan Addison led in yards for JJ McCarthy with 48. Obviously, Jefferson got the sticks for 47 and 1. I think this is what we're kind of going to see now. Wentz threw the ball a lot. Unless the Vikings are down, I don't think that they plan on running this type of offense where, McCarthy's got the ball being thrown 40 times a game, not at least this year, maybe going forward. But that's something I would expect it to be more West Coast run heavy offense, in my opinion. Could be completely wrong, though. But yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? You said it with Montgomery and Gibbs. Detroit could not get the run game going, and you mentioned it with the Bears, right? You get the run game going that opens up the pass. Goff still had a nice game. He threw for a little, I think, like 280 something and a couple of touchdowns. So he still had a real good game. Was real efficient. But when you can't run the ball, it's a little bit easier to plan defensively to just hey, they're going to throw it. So big loss though. We mentioned Detroit. We might have mentioned Green Bay. We'll get to them a little bit, but this was a big win for the Bears and big, just a big week in general for you Bears fans, including me, right there.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a Bears fan. Bask in it. Obviously, this was big because the Lions lost, and obviously with you guys having the Giants and then at the Vikings coming up after that, these are must-win
Big
games.
games.
And
Big games. Yep.
Speaking of teams losing, holy crap! The Panthers beat the Packers. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Packers this year because they have all the star power to absolutely throttle teams. They can't seem to put it together. It seems they go into these like lulls where if they don't run the ball 25 times a game with Josh Jacobs, I don't know. I feel like that team, if they're so run heavy, and I don't know if they're just afraid to let Jordan Love loose. And it doesn't get much easier now. Tucker Kraft tore his ACL. He's done for
Yeah.
the year. Not looking good for them, obviously, but they were already banged up at the wide receiver position as always. Obviously, Romeo Dubs has kind of like emerged as that number 1 there, in my opinion. But yeah, no Tucker Kraft's going to hurt them. But on the flip side, as long as Carolina runs the ball with Rico Dowdle, I think they have a good shot. I mean, 25 for 130 and 2. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Dowdle has become the guy, right? I mean, they had Chuba, however you want to say his name, and they signed him, and you're like, this guy's pretty good last year, right? And then he had a couple decent games ish maybe to start the year. Got hurt. You bring Rico in, and he's been a friggin' revelation for them. And you look up and you say, I mean, if you look at the very beginning of the year and you were to say, okay, after the first 7, 8, 9 weeks, whatever we're at, the Panthers would have 5 wins, you probably would have laughed at that statement, especially coming off of last year and just their overall personnel. They have 5 wins. I'm not saying they're making the playoffs, but I think most people probably didn't have them winning 5 games all year. So whatever's going on in Carolina, they're doing something right to win these games.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Moving in over to Tennessee and the Chargers. Chargers won 27-20. Chargers need to start winning a little bit bigger. I know that Joe Alt got banged
Yeah,
up
you
again.
can't
He
win
got
by
hurt.
7 to Tennessee.
No, it's unacceptable. Justin Herbert, 2 touchdowns passing. He also had the rushing stats. They couldn't get the run game going outside of him. You got to do more. I mean, not him. He's doing everything he can possibly do. Obviously, Arande Gadsden it's kind of emerged as that tight end that he needed, and he's always kind of been lacking it with the Chargers. So kind of nice to see that. It sucks that he's taken away from Laddie, but um, yeah, need to be better. Their offensive line is really, really banged up. So hopefully that gets better. But yeah, Cam Ward, 0 touchdowns passing. Honestly, just kind of an interesting game. I think their only touchdown was
Tough.
off of a
They
punt
had they had
return.
a they had a pick six, I think, too. I think that was their first touchdown, and then they had the punt return. So, I mean, when you don't do anything on offense, it's pretty tough to win the game. If you have a real good defense, like your '85 Bears or Bears a few years ago, when we actually were really good, and we should have, I'm not even going to get into the Cody Parkey bullshit. That's the first expletive of the day, but yeah. Chargers they started the year the first couple games, and you're like, this could be the team. They beat Kansas City, I think, the first game of the week or of the year, and you're like, okay, let's see what they can do. They win a few more games. They've been pretty lackluster the last month or so. So either they get going and they show people that they're more that team we saw to start the year, or you keep fading into this team that nobody really believes in. So I don't know.
Yeah, got to do more. Wake up out there, Jim Harbaugh. Moving into the team that kind of is surprising everybody this year is the Patriots being 7-2, taking on the
Oh my
Falcons,
God.
24-23. Drake May might, like I said, I think they said it last week, he might end up being one of the best QBs of that 2024 class. 2 touchdowns passing, doing it with like not really major or not a major target though in the receiving game. I mean, Pop Douglas, obviously 4 for 101. That's great. He's got Stephon Diggs, but he's aged. He's still doing well, but he's not the number one target there anymore.
Yeah.
And then Trevion Henderson hasn't really done much. I don't know what he did to not earn the respect from Vrabel, but he's just not being utilized in my opinion like he should be.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, Drake London, he's awesome. You cannot play him man to man. He's too big. He's got that basketball, type frame to be able to grab that. 118 and 3. Bijan Robinson only had 46 on the ground, but he also caught 50 yards. So, yeah, tough loss. Can't believe you could lose with that. But, I mean, Falcons defense kind of needs to step up a little bit more. And then Michael Penix. I don't think he's the guy there. I think he's going to be interesting. I think they're going to give him a little bit longer of a leash, but I
Yeah.
could see them going somewhere else in the next couple of years with these crops of QBs just coming into the league in the next couple of years. But yeah, hats off
Yeah,
to the Patriots. I hate it.
yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because you look at those two teams coming into the year, and offensively, like you just mentioned, the weapons for Drake May. There's really no big names over there. You mentioned Stephon Diggs, right? He hasn't had a big season in I don't know how long. So he's still a reliable guy. Will catch you a few passes. You can
Yes.
go to him when you need a big catch. But you look at Atlanta's offense, and they've got the playmakers over there, right? You got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, you got my guy, Bijan Robinson. I'm sorry, give that man the ball. Did we not see what he did a week or two ago? He had almost 40 points fantasy wise. My goodness, give the guy the ball. He will do what he needs to do. You can throw the ball to Drake London, but for my selfish needs, fuck Drake London and everyone else over there. Give my man Bijan the ball. God damn it.
Yeah.
Roll on.
He said it first here on the pod. Um, talking about a player who does get the ball almost 100% of the time, going over to the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, 106 yards rushing, 34
He's the
points on
man.
the board to 24 of the Giants, and he added one receiving with five receptions for 67 yards. Obviously no Brock Purdy, so they're kind of limited. Obviously Kittle, for whatever reason, Mac Jones just does not feed the ball to Kittle. I don't know if he's just not open, but it's just a Christian McCaffrey show right now with Mac Jones. Kind of just a very tentative offense. They pulled out that win. Giants, not very good team, but Jackson Dart, looks pretty solid. He plays
Yeah.
kind of dangerous in my opinion. We have to watch that. He could get hurt. The way he plays, but Theo Johnson got caught a ball for a touchdown, and then Jackson Dart also was kind of their whole rushing game too. They didn't really run very well. I got nothing else to say on the Giants because it's really not much to say this year other than watching Jackson Dart hopefully not get hurt.
Yeah, we'll see if Dart ends up becoming their guy they want to roll with for a few years after this year. But, San Fran, do you have their record by chance? I forgot to write that down.
Yep, San Fran's record is 6-3. Tough division. That's
Tough division.
We were talking about the AFC West. The NFC West is just as tough. Seattle's 6-2. Rams are 6-2. We've already mentioned the 49ers. Arizona's bad, so we're not even going to mention them. But
all right, so my last question to you. I know this is tough. Who do you got coming out of that division right now with those three?
Yeah, I mean, I said this to Rich yesterday. I said that the Rams, Matt Stafford deserves an MVP. The way he's playing, he's out of his mind. I'm picking Seattle. I think what Sam Darnold has there, and that defense in Seattle is nasty. Good luck. Good luck against Seattle because they are a tough team. They're 4-0 on the road. You're winning these games that they need to win. So,
all right, Seattle. I'm marking that down.
All right, next game we got the Steelers and Colts. Colts dropped this one. Danny Dimes. He was not Indiana Jones. He was Danny Dimes in this one. 3 interceptions. The run game was non-existent. 14 carries for 45 yards for JT. He still threw for 342 yards. He had 2 wide receivers over 115. Ironically, I don't know. The Colts are an interesting team. That's all I have to say is like if they play like they did against the Steelers, but for what it's worth, Steelers defense kind of proved why they are paid the highest amount in the NFL. They're all old though, and it kind of shows at times. But winnable game for the Colts. Probably should have won this one. I think that's going to hurt them long term.
Definitely. Definitely, you feel like they should have won this one.
Yep.
I mean, with the Colts, I mean, we've mentioned this a few times. They're the number 1 offense, I think, in the league this year. They're scoring all these points. 20 points is not a bad number to put up, but I think the Colts had like 140 more yards on offense than Pittsburgh did. Rodgers is just, he just said, I'm not throwing the ball deep. I'm just going to do a bunch of checkdowns, throw a bunch of passes within 10 yards. Mr. Efficiency gets the job done. And you mentioned it, Pittsburgh's defense is stellar. So if you don't make a lot of mistakes on offense and your defense is that good, you got a pretty good recipe to win a lot of games.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. All right, next game we have Denver and Houston. C.J. Stroud got knocked out early. He was in concussion protocol, so we don't know when he will be back. Bo Nix threw for 2 touchdowns. Dobbins 61 on the ground. Very boring game. Outside the last couple of minutes. And it just seems when the Broncos turn it on is the 4th quarter. For whatever reason, they cannot get it going up until that point. R.J. Harvey, he's looked pretty good. He's been that like kind of receiving back for them, 551 and 1. Cortland Sutton only had 1 catch. He made it count for 30 yards and a touchdown. If CJ Stroud's out, the Houston Texans are very, very bad. I mean, Nico Collins came back 7 for 75, but I mean, it's ugly there in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, Stroud is. We've seen how good he can be when he's on. If you're a fan of punters or punting the ball, we had 16 of those in that game. So, good game to watch if you like punting.
There you go. If you're a punting enthusiast, go watch that. Go watch that recap of that game. But
very good.
If you want to talk about kicking, once again, thank you for the transition. They broke a record yesterday. Cam Little, 68 yards, I believe. Fact check me on that for the Jaguars. He kicked a 68-yard field goal for NFL record. Insane. That was the highlight for that.
When you see, go ahead.
Oh, Yeah, they won 30-29 in overtime over the Raiders. Overall, if you look at the statistics from the Jaguars, that was the biggest thing was Cam Little.
When you see a team lining up to kick a field goal from that range, it just doesn't look right, right? I mean, you see it and you're like, wait, you're going to try to kick it from here? Like, what's happening here? But I mean, that to me, I mean, when you hear about that, I just remember Sebastian Janikowski for all those years with the Raiders, and every year you're playing Madden, the guy's got like 90 or 99 kick strength or whatever. So you could
He
kick
didn't kick
probably an
it that far.
80-yard field goal with him, dude. It was unbelievable. But um, kicking is an underrated position. When you have a legit kicker, you've mentioned Brandon Aubrey being like the cream of the crop right now, but there's some other really
Yeah.
good kickers out there. When you've got a good offense, when you've got a team that can lead you down the field, and you've got someone who's almost automatic kicking you field goals, you feel like kind of everything's kind of rolling with you. So um, Jacksonville, I wouldn't say that they're that team, but they looked pretty decent against the Raiders. They still won by a point, uh, 68 yards. Do you think you could kick a 60-yard field goal?
I can't kick a 15-yard field goal. It's one thing I could never master was kicking a football. Never could.
Yeah.
But you know what? Geno Smith, for as bad as he's looked this year, he had 4 touchdown passes. He had 3 of them to Brock Bowers. He's
Another
finally
hat trick.
healthy, 12 for 1, 7-3. Huge day for fantasy. I think we're going to see that a lot more, and that's going to open up Ashton Genty again. Uh, you know, it's kind of counting down the minutes until Jacoby Myers gets traded somewhere too, just because he is relevant.
Hmm.
But yeah, tough way to lose. Obviously in overtime, Bowers hit that extra touchdown, helped me in one league. So tough loss for the Raiders.
Brock is
Moving,
the
staying
man.
out west, he is awesome. He's so good. Moving out west to the Rams at my MVP candidate. He won't win, but he deserves to be in that conversation. Matt Stafford, 4 touchdown passes. Kyron Williams, 120 or 114 yards rushing and a touchdown. Puka Nakua, 7 for 95 and 1, and Devontae Adams with the 2 touchdowns. I think it's safe to say the Rams are a very good team, but they also beat up on a very, very bad New Orleans Saints team.
Yeah, you just mentioned Houston not being great when CJ Stroud's not out there. New Orleans doesn't have that issue. They're just bad in general. They're just a bad team.
Yeah.
We've mentioned this a few times. There's some really, really bad teams this year. I don't mean to poo-poo, if you will, too much on New
Yeah.
Orleans. But, yeah, I mean, Rams are good. Just like you said, Stafford's having an excellent, excellent year once again. And like I mentioned, I mean, New Orleans is lucky to have gotten that win they got already this season. I don't know if they win another game this year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they play the Jets. I don't know if they play the Jets. It's a possible one. But moving into 2
True.
teams that are in Super Bowl conversations, you have the Chiefs and Bills. Bills won 28-21. They are 6-2. Mahomes, no touchdown passes thrown. I don't know when the last time that has happened. We have to.
That may
We'll
have
have to
never
look that up.
happened.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time that's happened, but it's funny. They play against these really good teams, and they just have not looked like the Chiefs of late. Somebody who has looked good is Rashee Rice. For them, that's kind of been their standout. But yeah, no touchdown passes for Mahomes. On the flip, James Cook still just running like crazy. That is their move. And then their top receiver, Dalton Kincaid. I've always been a fan of him since he came out of out of Utah, just because I saw what he did to USC and absolutely torched them. He kind of did that against the Chiefs.
You feel like Kansas City's kind of had Buffalo's number for a while, ever since Mahomes and Allen started going at it. And Joshy Boy's probably won a couple times against them, but seems like the big
Six
game
and
when
one.
it matters, 6-1. Well, there you go. So um, it's interesting. I wouldn't say this is a changing of the guard. I just think it's this year. Casey's a little off, but they also
Yeah.
tend to sometimes get going a little bit towards the end of the year. Buffalo is a very good team. We've seen that all year. We've seen that for the last how many years. I hope they can get over the hump, get to the Super Bowl, and get the job done. They've got the guy under center to do it. Josh Allen's amazing. We know that. you just mentioned James Cook running all over everybody. Let's do it this year. I mean, you're Baltimore. We don't know what you're going to have with them going down the stretch. Burrow and the Bengals might not be in it this year. You're not going to have that every year. You got a good team this year. Let's get this done. Or the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the AFC. Obviously, you could never count out the Chiefs if you have because unfortunately, they still have the refs on their side. I'm going to say it, but it's out there. You're not playing the Chiefs. You're playing against the refs when you play them. But yeah, I mean, like you said, we could get a new entry from the AFC. That'd be kind of a fun Super Bowl if you have them in there. But moving into a guy that I have to mention, and I'll have to tell you, does he put them over the top? Is Sam Darnold 4 first half touchdowns? Does he lead them to an NFC championship?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
You know what? Seattle looks good. I don't want to go too crazy here. I know Jaden got hurt in this game. Washington, they steamrolled Washington. My buddy Brennan, huge Washington fan, and I believe he was at the game. So, sorry, Bren. But Seattle's good. They're good. And Darnold this was maybe one of his best games career-wise. He said 4 touchdowns, very efficient, only a couple of incompletions. I don't even know. I'd have to go back and look and see what they did with the run game. I want to say maybe they didn't do a ton. But you said their defense is great. 88 total, yeah, that's not a ton. Total. But you know what? When you score 38 points, it doesn't matter how you score those points. You're going to win most of your games that way. Yeah, we'll see. Do they get there? I don't know if Seattle is the first team I would pick as of right now just yet. But I do like them, you got to put them in the conversation, no doubt.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you got to watch out for the Eagles, obviously, but I think Super Bowl could, if they can, manage to get one of the top records in the NFL. If they can get that bye week, watch out for Seattle because it's not an easy place to play either. But
no.
Yeah, we'll see if Darnold ends up at holding it down for them too. So far it looked pretty good. Moving into quick touch point, we got to bring up the Bulls 5-1. They kind of got the doors blown off of them last night. I know they made a decent comeback at the end against the Knicks, but the Knicks are a good team despite their record. But Bulls, nice to see 5-1, looking solid. With their neighbor, that they share the UC with, Blackhawks. They've had some really good moments. They've also had some bad ones. I don't know if I mentioned it last week. I don't know if it was last week or not, but Bedard had that first career hat trick. So that was pretty cool.
Very good. Yeah, hey, you know what? We've mentioned this a few times. We didn't really know what to expect with the Bulls coming in. I would say my expectations still haven't changed. Good to see that we're 5-1, but I gotta watch a little bit more. Admittedly, so I have not been watching a ton of the Bulls season to start. We've obviously had some other stuff going on, but I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be getting down. Do you have their next game by chance? Do they play the 9th?
I could pull it up 1 second.
That's my one
thing. I know they played
yesterday.
So
okay, probably not.
They do not play tonight. They play tomorrow against the 76ers, who are also 5-1.
That's right. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Is it too early to say Bulls playoffs this year? Playoffs.
Actual playoffs, or are we talking the 10 seed again?
Yeah, I was hoping for at least something in the top couple, but no, not the 10 seed. No more of that.
I don't know. Even when I saw that they were 5-0, like I just felt like I didn't get that excited feeling like this might.
No.
I don't know. Who's like the dominant team in the East? Even the East once again, it's like okay, no Jay Tatum.
No Tatum, right?
Yeah. Kind of myth this year. Embiid isn't the same, so 76ers are solid. They're a good team, but Embiid not being the guy that he was, I don't think that they're a team of destiny. Cavs, yeah. It's Cleveland though.
But I was going to say
we'll see what ends.
Yeah.
We got we'll keep it excited. I'm going to keep my eyes open, and I'll check the box scores and try to do what I can for them. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, same thing with the Hawks. We're kind of just looking to see what we can get out of them. Ollie Moore is getting called up by the from Rockford. I don't know if they play tonight. I don't think they play tonight. I think they do actually. Today is Monday. Yep. They play tonight. So they play in Seattle, 9 p.m. If you have ESPN Plus, might be able to watch them. But that brings up my biggest point that I'm going to go on a little rant about, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. The whole YouTube TV ESPN clash. I don't know what to say because YouTube TV, I mean, this is just corporate greed, and YouTube TV is constantly, and people were defending them, so I'll bring that point up too for this reason, but they're constantly in the news or whatever for they might lose Paramount, they might lose Fox. Like right before football season started, we were seeing this, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're not going to see ESPN. What does ESPN do? They create their own app so they can stream on there. I think YouTube TV might be out of ESPN, which is crazy to be paying $82 a month for, with no regional sports packages, no ESPN. Outside of Sunday Ticket, what do they have?
Well, that would be something for you to tell us, since I am more of a Hulu man at the moment. But how the hell do you not have ESPN? I mean, as a sports guy, that's like a
They
must.
lost?
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
you can't be
it's
losing
crazy.
ESPN.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't see Disney budging. I think it's either YouTube TV and what's going to hurt in the background is the customers who have YouTube TV are going to get hurt in the background because all they're going to do is raise the price and screw them out. But yeah, when you don't, I mean, you can't watch the Cubs, you can't watch the Sox, Bulls, Hawks, you can't watch any of them. So I don't know. It's getting to the point where cable's actually looking freaking okay, and you get nothing with that without paying $500.
Going back to cable, huh?
Oh God, no! Does not watch anything.
No, no, you can't do that.
Get the
You know
get the
what?
little.
You mentioned Disney too. They're supposed to be merging. Speaking of Hulu, I think they're merging Hulu with Disney Plus or something, and I'm a little worried about that. I don't know how that's going to go because the Hulu streaming app, the app is great. Like it doesn't really fluctuate as long as your internet's good, you're fine. Disney Plus, for whatever reason, sucks. The app sucks. I don't know if you've had this
Really?
issue, but every
I'm listening.
time we watch a Disney movie on Disney Plus, which there's been a few because Maria's a big Disney girl, and we go on, and multiple times throughout the movie it stops, and you get the little ring, and you gotta wait a minute or do whatever. Never happens with Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, Prime, uh, HBO Max. All those apps are good. I don't know if it's just a at this apartment thing. I don't know what the hell it is, but the Disney Plus app sucks. And if Hulu is combining with them, which they're supposed to be doing, I think they're doing it through the Disney Plus app. So I'll be honest with you, I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little worried seeing how this is going to go. As long as everything continues to stream fine, I will be okay and I will not raise a fit. If that doesn't happen, I'll be taking a PJ for all you novices out there. That's a private jet. I will not be doing that out to the headquarters of the Disney folk, and I will give them a piece of my mind.
There you go. There you have it
So
here for folks. He's getting a PJ, he says.
there's my
Yeah,
rant.
I haven't had any issues with it. I will say this: I have
Okay.
had issues with my Apple TV with Hulu. I have two Apple TVs, one downstairs, one upstairs.
Okay.
The upstairs one, maybe it's just getting old. But for whatever reason, Hulu, I've had trouble with it
Oh,
the last couple of days. I probably just need to plug it back in. It might work. But Disney Plus, I've been okay. I haven't had any issues, obviously, with them because I got the kiddo, so it's pretty much all we watch. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe it's me. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's both of us. Maybe it's none of us.
maybe.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
I don't know. I'm in the market for a new provider though for cable. Obviously, I have to wait until Sunday tickets up, but
Yeah. Who you looking at? Sling? Hulu? Fubo?
F- uh, Fubo, yeah, because they have the regional sports packages. So I was like, and
They've got Red
they
Zone, I
have
think.
MLB Network. Yeah, they do have red zone, so I could dumb it down and do that. But I spoil myself when I do the Sunday ticket just because, obviously, being a Jets fan and living in Chicago area, I have to, so I can watch miserably, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Capital miserably, right?
Yeah, exactly. Any closing comments besides busting my balls on the Jets? And guess what? They're on a 2-week streak without losing.
That's got to feel good. All you Jets fans out there, I mean, you got to be maybe getting out there, celebrating, throwing a party, maybe go out and have a nice dinner or something, put on your nice fancy blouse.
Yeah, got to do
Yeah,
something. And for
yeah.
those who didn't realize, yeah, they didn't play this week. So we take our wins when we can. Anyway, that's the show. You find us here. Hopefully you still like us. I don't know. Anything you want to
I
add?
understand if you guys are growing weary of us. I understand it. 75 though. You can't knock that. 75. Boom.
Almost in triple digits. Stay
Almost.
tuned.